Welcome to the first web posting of this old bike. We've been doing a lot of older bikes lately. Maybe you saw that CB 1100 that we just finished. We just finished CB 550. These are the kind of bikes that I cut my eye teeth on when I was a young man. We also have two BSA motorcycles. Both are A65s and are owned by Mike Hailstrom. These bikes I have little experience with, but with Dave Beecham, aka Fuzzy, has a wealth of knowledge of the old Brits, both the BSA and the Triumph. He's been racing a 1960s Triumph 650 for the last 20 to 30 years. So, I thought starting a new series about this old bike would be kind of fun. We'll be profiling any motorcycle that's older than 1990. These two BSAs fall right into this category since they were both made in 1966 and 67. Both have been sitting for a long time. They haven't been ridden for at least 6 years, as the pictures here on the video will attest to. But with Fuzzy's knowledge and skill set, figuring out what was needed wasn't half as hard as finding the parts for it. As you can see from the opening videos, the first BSA is running, but it's running pretty shaky. And this is after Fuzzy rebuilt the carburetors. When Fuzzy first opened up the carburetors, as you can see from the pictures, they were a mess. There was old gas goo everywhere. Fortunately, with the years of redoing carburetors, we've come up with a pretty successful process of rehabbing old carburetors. We use a sonic cleaner with Simple Green, and then after that process, every passageway is cleaned out with JB carburetor gas treatment. I don't know what's in that stuff, but it almost guarantees that there is no old fuel slag left over in the ports, and the carburetors are going to run like they were new. After a good cleaning, replacing all of the paper gaskets, new taper needle valve seats, new taper needle valves, new main jets, new throttle cables, it was time to see if this old Brit would run. It would run, but not very well, and it definitely had some ignition issues. All these issues were rectified when we put the Boyer fully electronic ignition system made for this old Brit.
Because they kept telling how hard it was to... It's a British bike. It's awful hard. It's hard. Yeah. That's why it worked on it. I'm surprised it'll do anything now. Yeah.
Then you adjust the other set of points by opening or closing it to get the timing. In the later years, they did two things. They moved the condenser off of the points plate to get it out of the heat of the motor, because condensers would fail. And then they put a adjustable points plate on both sides so that you can adjust them and still keep your dwell. Your dwell setting is your points gap. By changing this here, the dwell never changes and the timing never changes. You set it up, make it happy, you mark it, you close it up, and never open it up.
Well, it sounds like
as long as you don't get that wet or fill it full of oil, it'll work forever. Mine's been in 10 years.
It sounds like it's running
Better. Had the other set of points were failing. That's why it was popping so bad.
Okay. How do you verify that coil? See if the coil's bad?
I can do some resistance checks. As it's getting hot and cold, it starts messing. So,
okay.
And you replace them in pairs. Lucas coils have a 7-year shelf life. Those coils went obsolete in 1970, and that was a long time ago. That was 50 years ago, and they're still working, sort of.
Yeah. One of the biggest stumbling blocks when you're working on one of these old bikes is being able to locate quality parts. And what might be more important is informed parts people that know their product. JRC Engineering is our go-to company. I've always been impressed with the depth of knowledge their counter people possess. Between Fuzzy and JRC, this project has been relatively smooth, and I'm impressed with the outcome.
Okay, this thing came in probably a month and a half ago, and Fuzzy's been working on it on and off. Went through and rebuilt the carburetors on both sides, put electronic ignition on it, got rid of the dual points, found out that the advanced unit wasn't working, so we got that all in. Thing looks pretty good. Fuzz has done a nice job on this thing. Put all new petcocks in. The other petcocks were leaking. We got gaskets for it, and then turned out that one of them, the threads were all wallered out, so we got those all replaced, and then we replaced the fuel lines. We like using clear fuel lines for the simple fact that with a clear line you can tell that you've got gas, and there's times when that information is kind of important. Fuzzy's at lunch right now, but when he gets back, we're going to have him fire this bad boy up and show you that it actually runs. Alright, here we go with Fuzzy on his maiden voyage with his 1966-67 A65 BSA. Stone cold. He's going to sit here and kick it.
Theoretically, it'll start.
It'll start right up, first kick. Yeah,
It won't be the first, it'll be the third. Usually. Come on, don't let me down.
What'd you say about the third one? They sound sweet, Buzz.
Fuzzy's test drive, as you can see, went pretty well. But the carburation was not spot on, which really wasn't a big surprise. The bike had been sitting for a number of years, and other people had been working on it. Expecting the carburation to be perfect right out of the box, that's a little unrealistic. Having the factory pro dyno at our disposal is one of our huge advantages. Come Monday, it'll be up on the dyno, and we'll be able to get those AML carburetors tuned in and spot on. Stay tuned. If you have an old Brett and you need some help getting it back running, keep us in mind. We can help. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.